It'll take more than a bruised spine to shake old Scrooge, you bad dragon.
DuckTales 2017 is a reboot of the original 1987 cartoon of the same name. It stars Huey, Dewey, wait, is that the right one? It stars Huey, Dewey, and Louie, three young troublemakers who go on adventures with their great uncle, Scrooge McDuck, and their uncle, Donald Duck. I wasn't particularly excited about watching the show at first, especially after that first introduction to it, with the cast singing to the theme song. It wasn't awful, but something about it kind of cringed me out. I only ended up checking it out because the first full episode was uploaded on the official Disney XD YouTube channel and kept showing up in my recommended videos. And let me just say off the bat, I am very happy I watched this. Within just one episode, the show did everything that, in my opinion, a reboot should. Reboots are kind of a big cash grab right now, as I'm sure most of you know. Any IP even remotely nostalgic is being grabbed up and repackaged at the speed of light. One of the main issues with these, aside from the kind of constant lack of quality, is the reliance on the audience's nostalgia. Powerpuff Girls 2016 makes zero sense without at least a little bit of knowledge about the original show. Old villains from the show just kind of show up and you're expected to know who they are. Teen Titans Go, despite what every cartoon reviewer says, it's actually not supposed to be a replacement of the original Teen Titans, obviously. It is a parody. Or at least, it's trying to be. The problem is that without any knowledge of the original show, it just becomes a show about a bunch of pricks stuck living together under a totalitarian leader. I mean, it is that still, but you get what I mean. The characters are so flanderized at this point that they can't even be considered exaggerations of the original characters. They're just exaggerations of their own exaggerations. So, what makes DuckTales so different from the rest of these reboots? Well, let me explain by first making a confession. I didn't watch very much of the original DuckTales cartoon or read any of the original comics. And while that doesn't make me the biggest expert on the universe or canon, it does put me in a position where I can say wholeheartedly that you don't need to be familiar at all with the source material to love and appreciate this reboot. And that's one of the things that's so amazing about it. The point of a reboot shouldn't just be to grab as much money from nostalgic fans as possible. It should bring in new fans and create something new from the old. There's so much about the show that I already love. For one, that fucking animation. I don't know if this was done in Flash or Photoshop or if it was hand-drawn, but no matter how this was made, bravo to these animators. It clearly pulls just as much from the original comics as it does from the original show. The movement is so fluid and natural, and the whole show is stylized in a very comic booky way. Is there a more professional way of saying that? Comic booky? Like I sound like a fucking bookie that... I don't know. Whatever. Each character has a distinct and unique personality that shines through. Huey is a book-smart nerd. Dewey is a brave and reckless leader. Louie is a stoner.
If you want to get high.
Webby is a shut-in who dreams of going on big adventures. Scrooge is a tired but adventurous old man who goes on journeys with his companions, but has trouble letting people in and oh fuck. My only real problems with the show are that one, sometimes I can't for the life of me make out what Donald is saying. I never really had this problem with other shows that Donald's in. I don't know why I can't hear him now. Like Kingdom Hearts, like I make him out perfectly. It's just this for some reason, but it's not that big a deal. And two, the voices of Huey, Dewey, and Louie threw me off at first. Their voice actors are adults, which, you know, whatever, fine. But they don't change their voices at all. I got kinda used to it after a while, but every now and then it kinda makes me double take. But honestly, besides those things, I can't find anything else I dislike about the show. I've heard people compare it to Gravity Falls, which is fair, but to be honest, if this show continues down the road it's going with this kind of quality, I think I'm gonna like this personally a lot more than Gravity Falls. The thing this show does better in my opinion is balance the comedy and drama. Gravity Falls had a lot of unnecessary jokes I felt could have been cut and were just added to keep the tone from getting too dark. But DuckTales doesn't try to overdo the comedy to keep the kids happy. Its main focus seems to be story and character development. And when it tries to be funny, it's really funny. Overall, I'm really excited about this show. I loved the first episode, and I can't wait to see what comes next. As long as it's not a Quack Pack reboot.